Sunny, Florida online tournament coming up this Saturday at noon. So be sure and register for that. All you really need to do is send me the entry fee, $25 for the regular entry and $45 if you want the side pool. I sent out emails with my PayPal and Venmo account, so you can just do that, and then I'll know you're coming. If I don't have information like your hero's nickname or whatever, I'll contact you and let you know what I need. But otherwise, we're set to go with that. And with that, I'll turn it over to you, Gary.
Okay. Welcome back, everybody. Just thought I'd go briefly review where we are. Going over Michi's book, and we are we've gone through what I consider the top the primary considerations in open enroll, and the way that you look at these is you kind of go through a checklist of things to do early on, you know, which Michi has identified them as proverbs. I've sort of condensed them a little bit to you know, hit, know your points priority, fight for good point, et cetera, et cetera. And we're now going kind of deep into his, well, we've gotten past the, what do you call the beginner level chapters, and now we're getting into the intermediate level chapters. And I've sort of, I thought some of those were better combined, so we combined some of those. Today, we're going to go over you know, making sure you can play a 6, which is not one of the deeper concepts here. And so we'll actually spend most of the time reviewing some of the earlier things, which is one of the good things about the book that Michi does, and he spends a whole chapter reviewing it. So reviewing everything from beginning to intermediate level. So, but instead of doing that all at once, I'm going to do that piecemeal, and we'll go over some of these points that don't have some of the proverbs that don't have the great use, I guess. So today's is make sure you can play a 6, in which Michi gives this example for playing a 6. And so what do you think the right answer is for the 5-2 opening? And a simple hit is, you want to play a 6. I should say a good 6. And I'll also say that this this is also covered under one of the other proverbs that we sort of that we've gone over.
So obviously splitting the back from 24 to 22 in some sense gives you air that you've got a 6 that you can jump out next time if it's not attacked.
Yeah, so we're gonna split, and this is really covered. You know, Michi, and this is something that I added. Here are the splitting rules. Michi's covers splitting rules under these proverbs, and I condensed them. And Mike, you know, what I suggest you do is anytime you're thinking about splitting, consider these rules, and then either some of them are a little bit stronger than others, and then either step back to rethink the split, or you know, or maybe you really should split. So here you're going to split because you're well blocked. This section 1, and now this Michi didn't cover this in his splitting rules. That's something I added. He called it split against the prime. And so, but what the prime really does is, if the prime blocks your 6s, you don't really have a way out. So you're a little bit trapped. And the same goes for really 5. So here, you know, the right play is to split. Not splitting is not good. And part of the reason is that, okay, now you have if you have a 6 to play, you can do it from here rather than coming down or going into the 2 point. So now you have a better 6 to play. But really, it's also covered in the splitting rules. The only other example that Michi gives that as an example of playing a good 6 is this one, and this is a little bit of a tricky one too. And this he covers this actually is kind of his review chapter, because there's a lot more than just 6s going on here. So take a look at this, and what do you think is going on, and what problem should we be considering?
You got 9 checkers by the opponent. No, 10 checkers by the opponent in the zone. So,
Oh, yeah.
so don't split based on that proverb.
Yeah. Well, and also you're on the 2 point, so that's not 2 point is an odd place to be. It's actually not really a point a place that you want to be, early in the game, because it's not really split. It's not an advanced anchor. It's better than the ace point if you're going to get, if it comes down to would you rather have an ace point game or a deuce point game, but it's not very good. So
I guess normally I would think 10, 7, 8, 7, but now that you're bringing this thought into my brain, 13, 10, and 23, 22.
Right. I concur.
yeah. And what rules are you going off of? Let's bring out the part of this is review. So what are the proverbs that kind of suggest that to you?
Make an outer board point.
Yeah, make the outfield point. Yeah,
outfield point. And split when the opponent has an advanced anchor.
Yeah. Well, yes, and Michi's, that was my version. Michi's version was counter an advanced anchor with an advanced anchor. And you don't have an advanced anchor here. Now, in regard to splitting, and we'll look at it. Charlie, you got the right answer. Let's look at the split, but we're sort of splitting here again. And you did point out that you had 10 checkers in the zone. So let's bring this back online. So that tells you, and this is kind of a blitzing structure, because you've got the stacked points here. So yeah, this is not a straightforward split. So this tells you not to split. But you've also got the back checkers are well blocked, and in this case, your 6s are blocked here. And your opponent has the advanced anchor.
And then the other thing is you're blocking your opponent's 6 from your home board.
Yes. Yeah. That's also the reverse side of make sure you have a good 6 to play is block your opponent's 6s. So so you accomplish that here. So all that gets baked into this position. I also should point out that you have the stripped 8 point, which points to splitting. So all that is baked on into this, and so the 10-7, 8-7 seems like the automatic play, but in this case it's a big blunder to do that. And so and the 6s come into it. I think it's hard to tell, but blocking your opponent's 6s is probably just as strong as making sure that you have your own 6 to play. So there's a lot going on here. You've got the you're well blocked, so you should split, but your opponent has checkers in the zone, which don't split. The advanced anchor, that's usually a strong sign that you need to do better, and you don't. This is not really an advanced anchor, but it's it's a little bit more. So, again, the tough position, but you know, if you weigh all the factors, you know, you come out to this, and you have to not do this automatically, make the bar point. And that's probably the trickier part of it is you see, okay, I can make a good point, and you have to stop yourself from doing that. Okay, so let's go on to some more.
Hmm.
And just so that you're not looking for sixes necessarily, these don't necessarily, these are more reviews of the proverbs and applying them, rather than, and so these may or may not have anything to do with keeping a good six to play. So again, what do we do? What are the relevant proverbs that help us?
Well, you can do a tiger hit.
Okay, and what's the tiger hit? You're coming in on the 3.
Come in on the 22. Hit with 24, 21,
Mhm. One,
and then
two.
21, 18, 18, 15.
Yep. Putting 2 on the bar. Let's put it back. Looks like a pretty good play to me. Anyone else? Because you can also, okay, let me,
The only thing I could, okay, you enter with the, okay, there was one, enter on the 22, hit the 21. And it's tempting to go from the 13 twice. You already got one man on the bar. Then you could take the 13 and move it twice to hit the man on the 7. So
Yeah.
that would put 2 men on the bar also.
Yeah.
And you'd slot your bar point.
yeah,
That's the other alternative, but not necessarily as good, but
yeah. So yeah, I mean, there are 2 tiger plays that are good. You could also, and you know, the advantage to, well, let's look at it. What are the advantage here? You can hit in the outfield. That's, you know, one of the rules is hit. So, one of the proverbs is hit, and you know, the outfield is a good place to hit. The tiger play is great with 2 checkers, and coming down to the bar point, you know, brings another checker in the zone.
and you got an excellent chance to make your bar point
Yeah.
because he's got his 2 men, unless he rolls a miracle double of some kind, but then you would have an excellent chance of making your bar point on the next roll. But
Yeah.
since
And
it's hard to
allows for a good move with a 6 on your next roll.
Yeah.
But Gary, as a general rule, aren't you trying to hit where you're making your opponent lose the most number of pips?
Yeah, and yeah, that's, and generally, and you know, that, I think that's the kind of the key thing that tips it here. So the double hit, putting your, you know, escaping the back checker mostly, and dropping your opponent way back in the race, that kind of overshadows the second best, which is hitting them off the bar point. And I think that's, you know, I think that was the kind of the key advantage to doing this one, hitting in the outfield twice as opposed to this one. But again, either one is a pretty good play. Others that you might have considered, which aren't as good, is you're unstacking and you're making the 3-point, which is a decent point, but not you know, not the best point. But you know, the weakness in your position now is that you have no inner board points, and so you put 2 on the bar, but they'll come right in. You could have made the 5-point. Yeah, not the right play here, because you don't really have checkers in the zone to follow up, and you've stripped your 8 and your 11, and you only put 1 on the bar. So Okay. So the next one.
6-1. Hmm.
Okay, so now what are the key features here that we need to look at?
He's got a 3-point board. Inner
Yeah,
board.
opponent has a 3-point board. We only have a 2-point board.
That's
Now we
significant.
have the better point.
True. He's got an advanced anchor, and whereas the white does not.
Yeah,
That's significant.
yeah. Advanced anchor. Yeah, that's a clear sign to do something, which is what?
How about 24 to 18? No. You want no? No. That won't work. Let's see. 20. Well, that's the 6, but the 1. Yeah, I was. I don't know. 24 to 18, and then 6 to 5.
Yeah. Well, what and why would we consider that?
Well, you're stuck on your 24 point.
Yeah. Well, we have a sign to split. This advanced anchor tells us you need to split. So we can split by either going here with using the 1, but then where's our 6? You know, we can come down here and leave a blot and strip our midpoint, or we can come in here and I can draw all sorts of lines on this board and give the direct shot with with the 2, only a 2 as a cover. So the right answer is here and here.
Ah, okay.
And let me.
Mm-hmm.
And the key, the key proverb here is your opponent has the advanced anchor and you're stuck on the ace point, and you need to move.
Right.
And that's in spite of the fact that your opponent has a better board in terms of 3 points versus 2. But you have a decent board too. Black is split. There's a strip here, so all those are good reasons. And then there's not really another great play.
No.
So.
It's about all you could do with that. Yeah.
The next one.
Okay.
$13, $9, $23, $22.
Okay, yeah, and why are we looking at that?
Well, one, we can get a 6 in play from our backboard, and then we've got another makeable blot that can help either make the 9-point or make something more in an inner board point.
Yeah, and here's another case where oops. 4-1.
They want to move both of them.
Here, I actually had 5-1. But yeah, here making the good 6 is why you want to bring these up.
Okay.
And in general, when your opponent opens with a 6-1, you want to get the point. So actually, a 3-4 is usually right to bring both checkers up. But here you're giving yourself two good sixes to play, if need be. And your black is stripped here. So, you know, you're working on your advanced anchor. The problem with this, and it's not that much worse, is, you know, you give your opponent the chance to hit. Okay, but again, you know, here's one where
I'm
you're
sorry,
playing the
to interrupt
six.
you, Gary, but isn't, I mean, when you make an opening move, I mean, if you rolled 4-3, I thought it's a really good thing to slot the 9 point when your opponent's checkers are on the 1. I thought that's a really great point to slot.
That, yeah, the problem, the problem is you have no builders on your 8 or 7. So when you have, you know, if you have a checker here, oops, yeah, and then you bring one down here, now you've got all sorts of numbers that do good things, you know, in here. But with this checker here, okay, you can only work with this one as a spare. Otherwise, you're going to break either the 7 or the 8 point. Now, breaking the 8 point isn't terrible since but you don't, but you wouldn't want to break the bar point here because it gives them a direct shot at you. So, yeah, we'll get into the 9 point. In fact, I think the next chapter is on the value of the 9 point and the thing and what you do when your opponent has it and that sort of thing. So, okay, let's work on the next one.
Ooh.
Too many good choices.
Yeah, I see 3 good things to do.
Yeah.
And the question is, which is the right one? And there's a very clear right one to do. So let's see if we can figure it out.
Well, the 5 point is more valuable than the golden point.
The offensive 5 point better than the defensive 5 point. Other things being equal. And so yeah, that's in fact, I've been reading Bill Roberti's book on opening his, I forget what it's called, opening plays or something like that, opening new thoughts and opening or something like that. And he spends 2 or 3 chapters going over things like, okay, when is it better to take the offensive 5 or the 20 point defensive 5 point? And when is it better to do you ever give up the 5 point over the 4 point and other things like that? So he covers all those situations in great detail. But so here's one. And so let's look at, first of all, let's count what are the good rolls that we would consider? Well, I'm sorry, not good moves. We can make the 5 point here.
You can make the 20 point.
Make the 20 point. One other good one to take a look
You can make the 9 point and
Then
23, 22.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you could do that. I didn't count that as one of the good ones, but there is one more good one you can do.
Oh, if the 24 to the 20 and then hit the 17?
Yeah, you can hit. And remember, that's kind of the first proverb is to hit.
Yeah, you're behind in the pip count, so you got to hit.
Well, yeah, certainly hitting would help with the pip count with the race problem. It would put us ahead in the race. But okay, so I don't sense that we're getting to the crux of the problem here. So this is not really covered in Michi's book because it usually doesn't happen so much in the opening. But the real problem we have is that black has 2 inner board points, and we don't have any. So And that's a real strength for black. Because if we get hit, there's a 25% chance that we're going to dance. And if we don't dance, we may not come in and make a point, or we may be forced to make a poor move, a forced move from another checker. So this is the key thing. We can get around that by making this 5 point, by making the defensive 5 point. And that trumps all other considerations. So, we can go in and hit, and that would send black back and put him on the bar. And that's a good thing. It's the second best play. But black comes in with a 5, or gets a 9 from the bar. And now we're on the bar with a blot here, and we've got some problems. So again, it's the points priority is, offensive 5, defensive 5, other things being equal. Here, other things are not equal. And it's very important to recognize that your board strength is a very important factor. Okay.
Mhm. So, hmm.
Okay, so this is a tricky one. And it's a little bit unusual. So let's start. What are things that we might look at here to help us out?
The opponent has 11 in the zone.
Yeah, okay, and so
Don't split.
yeah, that's a pretty good sign not to split. It's also a blitzing structure with its stacks here and here. And so, yeah, that tells you not to split. And black hasn't split either. Doesn't have an advanced egg or hasn't split. So probably splitting is not the right thing to do here. What else? What else do we see?
Geez.
Okay, something that I just mentioned, but it's not really in Michi's book. It's more of us beyond the opening. But we do have the better board. It's only a 2-point board, but compared to 1, but it's better. And generally, when you have a better board, you can play a little more aggressively. The other thing that we've got here is we're stacked on the 6-point. Well, we're stacked on a 6-point. And a third thing is, well, there's a blot. Black has a blot there.
Mm. So you're saying 6-4 and 13-8 to bring, and then you would have 1, 2, 3, three checkers to cover the 4-point if they don't roll a 3.
Yeah, your builder. Yeah, and that is the right play. Bring the builder down. You're sliding the floor. It's unusual that you would slot the floor in front of your opponent's back checkers, and you would do this if they were split, but they aren't. You don't have that much else constructive to do. You do, but you have the better board, and your opponent has a blot here. Also, if your 3s are duplicated, he needs a 3 to cover from there, and a 3 to hit. So
Mhm.
you're minimizing your opponent's counter shots. You're bringing, now you've got 11 checkers in the zone after bringing one down from the midpoint. And really, and this one is almost as good. So it's that's not the crucial feature, but you know, more checkers in the zone is good generally. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay.
Okay, I see two good plays here.
How about enter on the 5 and hit the 7, 11 to 7 hit on the 4. Just an idea.
Yeah, well, that's one.
Okay. that's
What's the
one.
other, what's the other good play?
I think Michi says that hitting on this on the 7 is like hitting loose, and I would probably go 20, 24, 20. Come in on 20 and
Yes.
I
Yeah,
agree.
He did say that, and that is the right play in this case.
Okay. Make the 5 point.
Making that point is, and his proverb there is, making the point is stronger than hitting loose. And you're right. I think he did say hitting loose is basically, hitting on the bar point is basically hitting loose.
Mhm.
Because it's not quite a direct shot, but you know, you've got a direct shot with the checker back here.
Mhm.
Now, here's a variation of that. Oops. Oops. I gave away the, hopefully no one saw that, but they gave away the answer. And so what's the difference here? And what is the right play? There's now an additional good play to make.
you can now hit on the 16.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah, with the same checker.
Coming up, yeah, you can hit from this, coming from the bar and hit on the 16.
Mhm.
So what do we know? How do we decide what's the best move there?
Well, I think it's better to hit on your opponent's side, so I would probably hit on the 16.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's right. Hitting out here is now stronger than making the 5 point. You're sending your opponent back farther, and also, you know, putting him on the bar prevents him from doing mischief here, and you know, or makes it less likely that he'll be able to do something useful here. And you know, as Jim said a minute ago, this is a strong point, and we'll get into that next week. Is that this is a strong building point. So if you hit that checker, you prevent him from making the good points that he had. So you know, these are kind of tricky because it's not crystal clear. You could make the 5 point, but you didn't here in order to hit. But and hitting here is stronger than hitting here, even though this is a good point that you would want to fight for. So, you know, these are tough ones that you have to kind of go over and sort of think through, and they help orient what proverbs are most important when. Okay, last one for today.
Hmm.
about 9-4?
Okay. There's one. So let's look at the structure here. And what are the key points that we have? Particularly in reference to the things that we've learned in the Proverbs.
Well, he's got a broken prime.
Mhm.
He has an advanced anchor, but we have a better home board.
Well, he has the advanced anchor, and
Right.
Michi's proverb was counter an advanced anchor with an advanced anchor. So we can't really do that with this roll, but we can make a stride with it.
So you're saying 23, 20, 24, 22.
Okay, well, that would be, yeah, that's one option. That helps you progress to the advanced anchor. How about 23-18?
Yeah. Who's
I
that?
like 23-18 because you're gonna get slaughtered if you stay back. And even if you get hit, at least you're still gonna have 4 home board points open to get back on.
Yeah. Yeah, and the answer is 23. And you're putting yourself in front of a lot of ammunition here. But notice that this point is stripped, that point is stripped. So you may get hit here, and black probably will hit you if he has a chance. But you still got an ace point. You can take another shot at it coming in off the bar, and black may be forced to leave a blot out here, which may hit. If he has to break his midpoint, a 1 coming in will hit. There's also a 5 something to hit one of these blots out here if they're there. This one is second. Generally you don't want to strip that point yet. You may need to play a 6 or something like that. This was the other one I think Charlie came up with, and this is not bad. It just gives black more choice. 5-3 is, or there are more shots.
No shots there.
I guess a 6-3 would be better here. But again, not a bad play. But the theory here is, okay, you don't have a strong play otherwise, but you've got the advanced. Your opponent has the advanced anchor, and we really need to get the advanced anchor as well. So we've got to take a bit of a risk to get there. Okay, so that's it for today. So we can now go to the Chouette for those that want to play.
Thanks, Gary. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, Gary, thank you very much. Very good.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks, Karen.
Thanks again. Great.
Yeah.
Stop recording. Okay.